For women, it's like, let's go to Starbucks and catch up. It's the actual conversation that is enjoyable. Where for guys, it's let's solve a problem together, and in doing so, we're going to be teamwork. We're going to form a tribe. We're going to have some. That's the kind of therapy that guys really need.
Men, what do you think about men not liking to go to therapy?
Well, so the problem is what's happened to therapy. So if you're asking me, the problem is what's happened.
I got an answer, but you go first.
So the issue is, it's under the age of 30, only 5% of therapists are men, and I believe what's happened is therapy has become a way to transpose, in some ways, woke ideology to men. It is terrible. I don't give a fuck. Please come on my show so I can fucking embarrass you. Anyone who disagrees with me about this concept of men being more vulnerable in the beginning of a relationship is fucking bullshit, and it is bad game. And if a therapist is telling you to do this, stop listening. Therapists who go after Jonah Hill saying that his behavior was controlling when he's like, hey, you're a beautiful person, and you're incredible, and you're smart, and I love all these things about you. And if you want to spend all your time with these other people, he goes, I support that. But maybe we're not right for each other. And that was controlling. Fuck therapy. If that's what therapy is, fuck therapy. Now, the thing is, there are some really good therapists out there, but for me, I would have to find someone who's kind of in the same cohort as me, either prior military or even like a girl who understands like the scene, or something that can, somebody who can kind of understand my ideology. Because I will tell you, there's a very big difference between a guy just living his life being 46 and a dude with testosterone over 1100 who's 46. Like, it's a very fucking different existence.
Can confirm.
And I would need to know that the person that I have as a therapist is not going to. I've heard horror stories from guys going to therapy and they're being judged by their therapist. It's like, you're dating multiple women at once. It's because you're a narcissist. That's why you're doing. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, that's what I'm talking about, right? You have, as a man, there's a period in your life if you want to date multiple women, you can. And there's a period of life if you want to settle down, you can. And you shouldn't be guilted for not wanting to do one thing or the other. So what I found is that therapy tends to be more like every instance that I've heard of, it tends to be more like the feminization of men. And so that's the reason why I think a lot of men are complaining. What do you think, Rob?
Okay, so here's my deal. Just to tag on what he was saying is that the way we do psychology right now, the way we do therapy is all, it begins and ends from the female experience. The reason why guys are supposed to go to therapy in the first place is to get in touch with their feelings and to be more vulnerable. And we can run down this laundry list of like, this is what you ought to do. And all of that, at the bottom of that list, the equation reads out to be more like a woman. That's what it comes to. Emote like a woman, talk like a woman, communicate like a woman, experience life like a woman. Everything else goes along. And the problem we have with this is because we don't understand today that men and women are different. And we are fundamentally, biologically, neurologically, endocrinology, in so many different ways, right down to the cellular level. Men and women are different. Our brains are, and I can show you the fMRI studies of these. Our brains are literally wired differently. So just because he didn't cry at the end of Titanic doesn't mean he's emotionally fucking stunted. Okay, he might cry at the end of Saving Private Ryan, but he's not going to. He's not going to cry when Rose drops the fucking heart of the sea down to the bottom of the ocean.
Because it was stupid. She could have let fucking Leonardo DiCaprio on the goddamn piece of plank. I mean, it was so dumb. You could see it. It was like right there. Just let him up on the motherfucker.
So,
selfish ass mother.
What I hear though from the reason why I hear like you people ask this all the time, like, I think that a lot of women think that therapy is in some way like makes the guy more attractive, and so guys go, oh, okay, I'll go to therapy. I'll out therapy all my competition, my intersexual competition, and so therefore I will, I'm going to be the most therapeutic. I'm going to be the most female identifying, the most emotive. And the problem with that is men, when they get into that state, it feels unnatural to them. So when women talk with other women and communicate with other women, they are doing so from the female experience. And the problem is we still think in terms of blank slate. We think men and women are just the same. So what works for a woman in our wonderfully correct female society and female correctness should theoretically work also for a guy. Men, and then guys are just like, screw it, I'm going to go gun down, I'm going to express myself with an AK-47, right? Yeah. That's pretty much what it comes down to. He's expressing his emotions, it's just with an assault weapon.
So what does male therapy look like?
I think male therapy. I think male therapy is called being a performance coach.
The squat rack is what it looks like
for sure.
Yeah.
Why can that not be
What
female
is
therapy?
PTSD?
Why can't that be
gonna
female
fix it.
therapy?
Oh, I don't. Well, I think it can be female.
It can be,
therapy.
but
Yeah, I don't see
yeah,
any
so
reason why it
so
can't.
let me see if I can answer that a little bit because I was actually talking about this today. When guys help other guys, it's usually because there's a project involved. The best conversations I've ever had with my brother have been about my brother reconditions and sells like auctions, classic muscle cars and classic cars at like Barrett Jackson and ESPN stuff. And so the best conversations I've ever had with him is like working on a carburetor. Like we're doing something. We're fishing. There's something that's happening. Like there's a project that's going on, and it's an excuse to get there. And you're focusing on something. And so once your brain is sort of like in the deductive problem solving mode, that's when we have the best conversations. For women, it's like let's go to Starbucks and catch up. It's the actual conversation that is enjoyable. Where for guys, it's let's solve a problem together. And in doing so, we're going to be teamwork. We're going to form a tribe. We're going to have some. That's the kind of therapy that guys really need. And that's unfortunately we in this society in this day and age we try to atomize men and isolate them. So when a guy goes through a divorce or something like that, he is like on his own. Whereas for women, they do better after a divorce because they have all these social networks because they've always done that, and they can't understand why that guy feels like he's suicidal to right after a marriage or getting zeroed out because none of his guy friends, they're all atomized too, and they're all isolated on top of that. So getting together and going and doing things and then saying, hey, Jerry really needs a support group, so let's start let's go down to the Starbucks and have a talk with them. That sounds like something that bitches would do. It doesn't sound like hey, let's go to the gym or let's go fishing or let's go have a dude's trip somewhere and do something. I don't know, whatever you go to the gun range. I don't care what it is. Do something that you all enjoy together, and through doing that, you will have those conversations, and that's how guys connect.
But it's not much
Well,
different.
Jessica, you had something you want to say?
Yeah. So
Talking to the mic.
therapy like that is, I think, generalized, but I think there's deeper problems and there's deeper rooted things that people have to work through, whether men or women.
So if we're dealing with somebody who is psychotic and they go to a psychiatrist, then I agree with you.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you.
Clinical.
Childhood trauma, sexual trauma,
Sure.
abandonment,
For sure.
Generational trauma.
children dying.
Of course.
There's things like that that people really, men and women, do need to talk to somebody that can help guide them on a path for healing. Otherwise, they're going to come up with blocks in their life, right? Like mental blocks, and they're not going to be able to move forward or push through it without direction.
Yes. The difference is, I think there's a lot of men who have those mental blocks who go to Marine Corps boot camp or go to the gym, and then the mental blocks go away. That's the difference. There's a lot of these guys who have these blocks, and then all of a sudden they become successful, and a lot of the blocks go away. I'm not saying therapy is unnecessary. I'm just saying the way it's used for men is incorrect. They're taking the tool that they use for women, and then they're applying the same tool to the male psyche, not admitting that the male psyche is different from the female psyche. Sure. Again, a male therapist is called a performance coach. A male therapist is called a personal trainer. A male therapist is called an offensive coordinator. That's what a male therapist is. Okay, a male personally, a male therapist to me is Andrew Huberman and Lex Friedman. A male therapist is somebody like that who's
your martial arts instructor.
For sure. Whenever I have conversations with like Myron Gaines or Justin Waller or whatever, when we're talking about business and accomplishing a goal, we all light up. Everyone at the table stops what they're doing. We light up because there's a goal that is going to be accomplished. And like I could just like literally feel like my ancestors' genetics being like, let's fucking let's work together. You come from this angle, I'm going to come from this angle. We're going to kill this goddamn elephant.
Right,
like we're going to work together. No, it's not just conquerors. The teamwork. It's like watching
solving problems.
It's like it's like watching the '87 Lakers, just like run like the Showtime Lakers, like watching them teamwork up the court, just throwing the ball. Watching Jerry Rice and Joe Montana teamwork,
building
like watching
things collectively.
Correct. Like watching that teamwork, watching Stockton Malone, those things like that. We admire so much as men working together to accomplish the goal and accomplishing that goal, defeating another group of men. You'd think that would exist somewhere in our ancestral past, and you look at our ancestral past, and that's all it was. Because there are no more Neanderthals. You guys wonder what happened to them? We fucking ate them and outbred them. There are no more there's no Australopithecus, there's no Homo habilis, there's no Homo australis. There were 15 breeds, there are 15 species of hominids on this planet,
Hairless
and now there's one.
Murder ape.
There's just this hairless murder ape called Homo sapiens sapiens is the only one left. We've been around for 200,000 years, and we killed all the other ones because we competed with other we joined bands of other Homo sapiens to kill the other bands of whatever. The leopards that lived over here, or the Homo habilis that lived over here.
The chat is in rare form today. I just got the little elephant emoji and an L.
Elephant took the L.
So the answer is basically be like Michael.
No, definitely not Ben.
No, but I will say this:
Go do push-ups.
I think that if we're ever going to have any kind of like effective male therapy, it has to take into account the male experience as something that is separate and set apart from the female experience, because that's where we get into trouble with so many things, and not just therapy.
Because I've had so many male friends tell me like, I don't want to go to therapy, like that stuff. Like I don't
there's a
believe in
stigma
that.
around it.
Oh, I would love to go to therapy if there was a therapist who I believe could keep up with me.
Yeah.
Like I think, I have accomplished things in my life. Have you? And you're going to tell me that I need to do these things. Well, hold on now. I have a family that depends on me. Are you sure when you say these things that what I'm doing is unhealthy? Tom Sosnoff is one of the most successful guys I know. The guy's a billionaire. He's like, you know what vacation is? I don't. I haven't taken one in 25 years. Yeah. I work 7 days a week and I fucking love it. I don't ever not want to work, and I have billions of dollars and my family is set up for life and I'm happier than shit. That's some people that they're just built like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so is a therapist going to grasp that? Or is the therapist going to go and get a liberal arts degree or get a degree in psychology, right? A soft science of psychology. And then when they do so, like you bring up, well, evolutionary psychology said this, and they think that's hokum because they believe in B.F. Skinner rather than David Buss. And they sit there and they start giving you all these ideas based on things that they theorize that they believe are healthy. But and then they completely ignore the fact that we are hairless murder apes. Now, you have to take that into anything. I want a therapist who takes that into account. And if they can't do that, then I just don't want that person to be a therapist. Now, if you give me a business coach, yes, I'll take that. I'll sit here and listen to Neil Patel talk about how much he works, or I'll talk to Ryan Panetta about how much he works, or Dan Bilzerian, or Ty Lopez, or any of these people. I look at their lives and I'm like, yeah, I want some of that. I want a tenth of that. I want 100th of that. I'll be rich beyond my wildest dreams if I had that. I wouldn't have so fewer things to worry about. And his son Ike could go to any college in the world without question, and I would have no question. What, you want to go to Oxford and then go get a PhD from Harvard? I'll pay for it, no problem whatsoever. That's the life I want. And so when that's the case, that's no therapist is going to tell me that's unhealthy. That's my issue.